Are you dealing with kneecap pain? Is it bothersome when you bend your knee all the way or do things like squat down to take care of things at home or kneel? Is it so bad that it bothers you even at night when you're sleeping? And is it rough when you wake up in the morning or if you go to stand up after you've been sitting for a long time? Doctors most of the time have no clue how to treat this except throw medications at it, give people injections, and look at the possibility of any surgeries to clean out the knee joints. When in reality, there's simple things that you can do at home to improve your kneecap pain, also known as patellofemoral pain syndrome, and make sure that it heals for the long term. In today's video, I'm going to show you 3 treatments that you can do at home on your own. And I'm also going to talk about a couple things that you absolutely need to avoid. So watch till the end of this video so that you can avoid these things. These are things that healthcare professionals tell people with kneecap pain to do that you need to stop doing right away because it's going to make your kneecap pain worse. My name is Dr. David Minoff, and I'm a specialist physical therapist at Paso Manual Physical Therapy. This channel here is dedicated to helping people stay healthy, active, and mobile while avoiding unnecessary surgery, medications, and injections. Please subscribe so that you don't miss out on any of the helpful videos that we upload every single week. This video is going to be more of a tutorial on how to fix your knee problem at home, your kneecap pain. But if you're looking for how kneecap pain happens, you want to get more of the science behind it and figure out where this came from, how this problem came to be, I've got another video talking about that, and it's linked in the description below. The very first thing that you've got to do for kneecap pain is to move your kneecap bone on your thigh bone. Let me show you what this looks like. You've got to sit somewhere where you can stretch out your leg. The affected leg needs to be out just like this. So I'm sitting on this table here and I've got this stool under my leg. You can sit on a chair like your kitchen chair and put another chair in front of you. Or if you're on a couch or on a bed, just swing your leg over like that so that your knee is as straight as possible without stretching it. You don't want to force it down because then you tension up your knee joint. You want to have it relaxed. So you can see here my knee's just a little bit bent. That's going to work for me. What you're going to be doing is grabbing your kneecap and moving it up and down and side to side, and you can try circles if you want. It doesn't really rotate much. Technically there's a bit of rotation, but we don't want to worry about it today. All we want to do are some gentle movements. And before you start, I need to warn you that if your kneecap pain is really bad, if you're just really inflamed, I mean, you got swelling, it's sensitive even just to touch it like this is going to bother it. And you need to start out really light or maybe even wait and just rest until it goes down. The inflammation goes down and the swelling goes down before you try this out. You can't do this on a super inflamed knee joint, on a kneecap. You've got to just rest, maybe ice it, do the easy stuff where you just lie around and do nothing basically in order to let that inflammation go down so that you can get to the point where you're doing this technique that I'm going to show you next. So let's say you're ready to do this technique. You're going to make a circle with your index fingers and your thumbs overlapping. It doesn't matter which one's over which one, just get your hands in this position. Then you're going to put your hands over your kneecap. Let me do it this way, you might have a better angle. And real gently, you're going to start to glide it down and glide it up. So just like that. I'm hooking my thumbs around the edge of it right here to move it down. And I'm just going to bounce a bit downwards. I'm going to hook and bounce a bit upwards. Say about 4 or 5 little bounces and then change directions. There isn't any magic number to this. You can split hairs and find numbers in the research, but I haven't found any in practice that make a huge difference. The bottom line is we need to just move the joint and get the fluid inside the joint to move. That's what this is accomplishing. There's cartilage behind the kneecap that needs to be nourished. It's been pressured too much, it's been pressed on too much. And by moving the knee joint, now I'm moving outwards, I'm using this side of my hand. By moving the knee joint here, the kneecap, you allow that fluid to get into the surfaces of the kneecap better. There's also cartilage on the end of the thigh bone where the kneecap meets, and we're also nourishing that, getting the fluid to move in there. It's also just taking pressure off the cartilage, and this is much needed. Now, you're probably asking, well, how hard do I do this? Do it up to your tolerance. So if you are a little more sensitive and you start pushing and you feel pain coming on, back off. That's your limit. You only want to go to that pain barrier. Try to stay below it, in fact, because you can irritate this worse if you're pushing this as hard as possible. If you're feeling like you can take more force without hurting it, now it's going to feel weird. It just is an odd sensation to move your kneecap. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about actual pain or achiness that's coming on. Then you want to back off. So I'm going to move it inwards here, outwards, up and down. And generally you want to do this for a few minutes. After about 2 or 3 minutes, you get diminishing returns, meaning it's not going to help you that much more. You've already moved it enough. You've accomplished what you set out to do. This one, along with the other things that I'm going to show you next, need to be done hourly in most cases. If your knee is pretty flared up, I would look to do this as often as possible, basically every hour or so in a day. If you can get this in 10 plus times a day, the better off you're going to be for your knee. So one of the mistakes that people make is they see a treatment like this, try it once or twice, maybe they try it for a day, and then it doesn't really work. Well, it's kind of like eating it's kind of like changing your diet. You can't eat one salad and assume that you're going to lose weight. You have to keep eating salads. It's the same thing for this. You're doing a really healthy thing for your knee, but you've got to keep going. You've got to keep doing it. Brushing your teeth, same thing. You can't brush your teeth once and expect your teeth to be clean the rest of your life, or even for a week or a month. You've got to keep going over and over again to get that fluid circulating in there. So this needs to be done hourly for as long as it takes for your knee pain to go away. I would do this literally maybe even a week after your knee pain goes away, then you can stop. You just need freedom in your kneecap. It's super important for patellofemoral pain syndrome. Now let's move on to the second thing you got to do. I'm going to show you an exercise for your glutes. Very, very important for patellofemoral pain syndrome. In my video that talks about how patellofemoral pain syndrome happens, or kneecap pain, how that happens, you'll see why the glutes are so important. So check out that video. It's posted in the description below. But for this exercise, what you're going to do is push your back flat as hard as possible, squeeze your butt muscles, and then work to lift your leg just a bit, lift your butt just a bit. When you do this, hold right there for 10 seconds. After about 10 seconds, come on down. Now what you should feel is butt muscles working really hard. What you shouldn't feel is your hamstrings working really hard, your back muscles working really hard. That shouldn't be happening. And you should not feel a huge stretch in the front of your thigh here. What you should do, how you should tweak this if you feel your hamstrings, back muscles working, or your quad stretching, is you need to not lift so high. It might be even that you don't lift at all. You might just put your back flat, squeeze your butt muscles, and if you feel your butt muscles working there, hang out there without lifting, because if you start to lift right away, you get a big stretch on your quads, it's going to be counterproductive. You're going to be pulling those quads, smashing your kneecap against your thigh bone, and further irritating your kneecap. So you don't want that kneecap irritated, so you don't stretch it a whole lot. You want to back off on any sort of stretching. Also, if you're firing your hamstrings or your back muscles, you're not going to take advantage of what's called reciprocal inhibition. Big fancy words for when you fire your butt muscles, these quad muscles should relax. That's what you need to take that pressure off your kneecap long term. So 10-second holds, 10 reps, back flat, butt tight, lift up, and hold it there for 10 seconds. Once you've done 10 of these, then switch to this next glute exercise. Now I'm going to switch around here so that I can keep focusing on this leg, because this is the one I'm pretending to have an injury on. And I've had this, by the way, and I had it for a long time, patellofemoral pain syndrome. It was before I became a physical therapist. I was very into sports, was completely imbalanced in my muscles, had big dominant quads and not much in the glutes as far as strength goes. And I started to get a crunchy kneecap. I still, to this day, have a noisy kneecap, but it doesn't hurt me. I'm fine. I run, I lift weights, I do everything I want to do. But my knee does make noises. And if you pay close attention to some of my other videos, especially when I'm doing squats or lunges, you can hear my knee making funny noises. It's kind of cool. But it doesn't hurt. So anyways, you're going to do a clam next. This is your third exercise, clam exercise for the butt muscle, about where your back pocket is right here. So what you got to do is lie on your side, and then you're going to roll forward with your upper body so that it moves your hips over just a bit like this and makes the top leg stick out forward past the bottom leg. I'm looking at my knees from my viewpoint, and I can see my knee sticking out a good 2 or 3 inches forward past my bottom knee. Now my feet need to stay together. A lot of people will say, well, let me just move my knee forward like this, but now my feet aren't together. Feet need to stay together, roll from your hips. When you do that,
Now it puts this muscle in a position to work. You're gonna lift up your knee and hold it there for 10 seconds, just like the bridge exercise. After 10 seconds, you can relax down, and you need to focus on making this butt muscle work. So it doesn't take much lifting to do that. I feel it already right here. I can feel it under my fingers, but I can feel it working as well. I can feel the muscle getting a little bit tired. What you don't want is to work your quads or this muscle quite a bit. If you feel like the front pocket muscle right here is working, or the front of your thigh, then you need to roll over even more. Straighten out your legs a bit to give you space to roll over, and do the exercise like this. I actually feel even better that way right now. And notice I'm not going up very high, because as soon as I start going higher, my hips have to roll over like that, and I start feeling it in my quad more than in my butt. I actually don't feel it in my butt at all anymore. So I'm gonna stay low right there. That feels the most intense on that glute muscle right here in my back pocket area. So 10-second holds, 10 times. Do this on both sides if you have the time. If you don't have the time for some reason, completely focus on that side that is bothering you. Now let me tell you two things that people with patellofemoral pain syndrome or kneecap pain often end up doing, either because they found these exercises and stretches on the internet, or they've been told this by a healthcare professional like a physical therapist, a personal trainer, even physicians and doctors tell people to do these things. And unknowingly, before I don't think I'm throwing anyone under the bus, this is just not a common treatment approach that I have. And I've gone through a lot of specialist training. I just see the body completely different. Most physical therapists are helping people recover from post-surgery situations, like if they've had a knee replacement or a meniscectomy or some surgery in their knee, and they aren't as good at treating somebody who's looking to avoid a surgery. So doing these exercises and stretches that I'm about to show you is probably a good thing to do if you've had a knee surgery. But if you haven't had a knee surgery, you're trying to take care of your kneecap pain so it doesn't end up a surgical situation later on, then this is what you should be doing. And the results speak for themselves. So if you're questioning, well, I have this physical therapist I'm paying money to, and he's having me do these things that you're telling me not to do, well, see how you feel. If your knee is feeling worse, going to that physical therapist or doing your doctor's exercises, you can't refute that. I mean, it's how you feel. So let me tell you the exercises and the stretches that you need to avoid, and then you judge for yourself if it's something that you should keep up or not. Number one, the biggest stretch that everybody does for patellofemoral pain syndrome is a quad stretch. And there's different ways that it looks. Some people just sit down and they'll pull their foot and leg in this position and put a big stretch on this area right here. And what that does is it gives you false feedback, because the person telling you to do this is going to say, you feel that stretch right there? Doesn't it feel good? Can you feel the muscle stretching? And you are accomplishing a stretch. But what people forget to realize is that you're also compressing your kneecap against your thigh bone, which is how you got this cartilage problem in the first place. You got too much pressure on your cartilage behind your kneecap. So you're kind of making the problem worse by doing this. You're irritating it a little bit. I would say avoid this. There's no reason to do it. Plus, if you stretch hard enough, you actually waken up the muscle and cause it to contract, which in the long term makes it stronger and better able to compress your cartilage on your kneecap. So it really is not necessary. Another way that people do it is they'll stand and they'll pull their leg back like this and stretch, and they'll say, get your heel as close as you can to your butt. And the feeling of the stretch itself is a euphoric feeling. In other words, it feels kind of good to stretch the muscle, but it feeds into the problem long term. So it's the equivalent of eating chocolate cake. If you're trying to lose weight or be on a diet or be healthy, chocolate cake tastes pretty good for those that love chocolate, but it's not good for you. It's the same thing with this stretch. The second thing that you absolutely need to avoid are quad muscle isolated exercises. What these look like, the classic is the machine at the gym where you sit down and it's got a pad right here on the front of your shins, your lower legs, and then you stretch out your legs and you're just doing this motion. Usually the arm and the pad right there that's on your legs is connected to weights that you put the pin on, and you pick up the weights when you stretch out your legs, and it makes these muscles work really hard. Well, same thing, you get that false feedback because whoever's having you do this is telling you, do you feel the burn?
Do you feel these muscles working really hard? Great, we're on the right track, but really it's not on the right track. You're making these muscles stronger and again pushing that kneecap further onto the thigh bone, the femur, over time. And when you get really strong quads at rest, there's something called resting tension, meaning your muscles tension up a bit at rest without you having to think about it. You can actively tension your muscles, right? You can contract them, but the stronger your muscles are, the more tension they have at rest, and that low level of tension all day long compresses the kneecap and makes the situation worse, especially if you have a muscle imbalance where you don't have the proper strength in the glutes or other areas to offset that increased force that you're pushing onto your kneecap. So strengthening your quads is really a bad idea. There's other ways that people do it. It might happen with squats or lunges. The idea is if you're doing an exercise and you feel your quad muscles burning, it is not a good thing for your patellofemoral pain syndrome, for your kneecap pain. Let me say that again. If you can get this point, you can get a lot of guidance and clarity on what you should and shouldn't be doing. If you're doing an exercise for your kneecap pain that is causing your quad muscles, the front of the thigh muscles above the kneecaps, to get tired, fatigued, and sore, like you're making them stronger, then you're in trouble. You're gonna make your kneecap pain last longer and more intense as time goes by. You need to work on your glutes. Just to let you know, I've got a video covering 5 glute exercises for knee pain specifically, and it's linked in the description below. Go check that out if you're looking for even more glute exercises. And if you want something even more comprehensive, we've got something called the 28-day Knee Health and Wellness Boost Program. This is a 100% on-demand and online program that you can access where you can get 28 days of help for your knee problem. This helps your knee cartilage to heal, knee ligaments to shorten, muscles that influence your knee in a good way to get stronger. And best of all, it teaches you great advice and coaching on how to keep your knees healthy for the long term so that you can decide to do whatever activities you want, whether it's kneeling in the house, squatting down to pick up something from the floor, or running or picking up some more intense exercise like weightlifting. You can safely do this for your knees if your knees are injured enough and if you learn the concepts in our 28-day knee program. The link for this program is also in the description below. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a thumbs up if you thought this video was helpful. Have a wonderful day, guys. Bye-bye.